You know how sometimes strange little messages just bubble up from the depths of the internet? They're fragmented, kind of weird, and yeah, most of the time we just scroll right past them. But what if some of them are more than just noise? What if they're signals? Today, we're going to look at three of these whispers that, when you piece them together, might just be telling us a story about where we're headed.
It starts with something like this, just three little words, a piece of gamer anxiety just floating out there in the digital void. No context, no explanation, nothing.
Then you see this one pop up. A little more complex, right? It's a question, but it's phrased in that deep internet slang, hinting at some kind of massive change.
And finally, we get this. This isn't just a question or a rumor. This is a full-blown prophecy, a really cryptic statement about the future of online culture itself.
Okay, so let's dive into this. We've got a video game, an AI tool, and a cultural prediction. I mean, on the surface, they seem totally random, completely unrelated. But what happens if we stop treating them like noise and start looking at them like they're signals?
All right, our first signal. It comes from the world of entertainment, a place that's usually all about speed, hype, and just getting bigger and bigger.
So let's go back to that first fragment. Now, this isn't just about one of the most hyped video games of all time maybe hitting a snag. No, this could be a clue that points to a much bigger, systemic problem.
This really points to a bigger trend. I mean, think about it. Blockbuster movies, AAA games, they become so huge, so expensive, taking years and years to make, that the whole model might be buckling under its own weight. So a single delay isn't just a delay, it could be a sign that our whole cultural engine is starting to sputter out. Now let's grab our next signal and see how this all starts to connect. We're shifting gears from how we entertain ourselves to something way more fundamental, how we actually learn. This question, it feels raw, you know? And it's urgent. It's not asking if school needs a few changes. It's asking if the entire idea of school as we've known it for centuries is basically over.
And for anyone not totally fluent in internet slang, cooked means it's done, finished, past the point of saving. The question is implying that education is facing a threat so big it might not come back from it. And that threat, according to this whisper, is the power of something like ChatGPT, Atlas Web, this crazy combination of AI and all the information on the internet.
This slide shows us exactly why that question is so potent. I mean, the old way, sitting in a class, memorizing facts for a standardized test, it's fast becoming obsolete when an AI can pull together all of human knowledge in seconds. The new reality, it demands a totally different set of skills. So the real question becomes, if the old system is well and truly cooked, what's supposed to come next?
And that brings us to our third and honestly most mysterious signal. If our entertainment is slowing down and our education system is being completely turned upside down, what happens to the language we use to even talk about it all?
This sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it points to something very real. Memes are basically the cultural shorthand of the entire internet. They are how ideas, jokes, and emotions spread like wildfire. So, what on earth would a meme reset even look like?
This timeline really puts it all into perspective. We went from those simple, pretty relatable memes of the early internet to the super complex, layered, ironic, and often AI-generated stuff we see today. But this prophecy of a great meme reset, it suggests the path doesn't just keep going, it breaks. This isn't just the next step in an evolution, it's a full-on reboot. Just try to imagine a moment where our entire digital language changes and the old rules of online culture just stop working.
So here we are. We have these three completely separate whispers from the web: a production slowdown, an educational crisis, and a cultural prophecy. Now let's try to connect the dots and see what kind of picture they're actually painting for us.
When you lay it all out like this, a real story starts to take shape. See, it begins with the old guard, our big-budget entertainment, starting to falter. And as that slows down, these powerful new technologies like AI come in and disrupt something even more fundamental: our institutions of knowledge. And when both of those pillars get shaken up, well, the very language we use to make sense of the world, our culture, our memes, it's forced into a hard reset.
So what this all really comes down to is that we're not just looking at three random internet posts. We could be witnessing the very first signs of a massive inflection point. It's that moment where these huge technological and cultural forces are all colliding, and they're creating a future that might look absolutely nothing like our present.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it?
If the old ways of making entertainment, of learning, and even of communicating are all breaking down, what's going to rise up and take their place? What does the world actually look like on the other side of this reset? That's the puzzle these whispers from the web are daring us to solve.